Hello everyone, my name is PolishLynx. Let's continue Everlasting Summer. We are going to infirmary with Slavia. 5 minutes later we are standing by the infirmary door and Slavia was picking out the right key. I still consider this idea quite foolish. Nobody ever died from the common cold. At least not in the past century. I couldn't see any good reason to spend the night in the infirmary. You sure? Finally Slavia opened the door and leaned on my arm. I'm still a bit dizzy, she said guiltily. Slavia landed on the bed. I sat on the chair nearby. Still, listen, alone for the whole night in the infirmary? You will stay with her, you idiot. After all, at least Semyon could get you a glass of water if you needed one. She wouldn't catch the illness. She's young and strong. It's alright. I don't want to bother anyone, and the nurse will come tomorrow. I suddenly imagined myself in Slavia's place. Imagined that I had to spend the whole night here, alone. You will stay here, and shivers ran down my spine. Listen, maybe I can stay with you for a while. Exactly, I owed a lot to Slavia. And in fact, I didn't even want to leave. What for? Everything will be fine. Thanks for walking me over. You should go and get some sleep. I still think. It's fine. For a moment I thought, of course, nothing terrible will happen to her here, but I myself would feel more relaxed if I stayed with her. So stay there, I think. Oh, come on. Slavia cried out as if offended. You won't throw me out, will you? I smiled slightly. Alright, but if you get infected, you only have yourself to blame. I was happy with my little victory. Okay, then what shall we do? There should be some playing cards in the chest. Drug. In fact, I didn't know any other games except that one and poker. Okay. We spent a lot of time playing. I completely lost track of time. We chatted, laughed a lot. Slavia didn't seem ill at all. Then midnight came. Time to sleep. Probably. But where are we going to go? She gazed at me. Come on. You shouldn't be sitting in here with me. I can do it anyway. At the moment I could even fall asleep standing up. Slavia watched me for some time, and then drew the curtain and said, Good night. Night. I laid my head on my arms and fell asleep in an instant. Despite being exhausted, I slept uneasily. It was more of a slumber. My awareness kept leaving me and returning again. The best possible state for dreaming something psychedelic. Bus number 410 drove past the room. It was snowing from the ceiling and my computer's monitor suddenly rose from the middle of the table. Wallpaper blended through the walls, rubbish piles rose to the floor, and my old bed materialized in the corner. I was in my old flat again. The scenery changed to that of my hometown. It was like I was running through endless hordes of people, bustling in and out. And then darkness fell on me. Primal, universal darkness. I jumped up in terror. I was sweating like a river. Slavia was looking at me weirdly from the bed. Just a bad dream. I attempted to smile. You were screaming. Screaming what? I don't know. It was incomprehensible. The clock only displayed midnight. Semyon? Huh? I'm freezing. Slavia was rubbing the arms of her sweater, shivering. Hang on, I'll find a blanket. I searched through one cabinet after another, swearing to myself about how the damn infirmary had nothing to cover up the patients. I'm sorry, there's nothing here. Wait, I'll run and fetch something. You don't have to. Would you just lie here with me? It would be much warmer. Didn't expect that. She was absolutely serious. Her voice sounded so piteous that for a second I was left breathless. Are you sure that it's okay? So it's not? She asked, blushing. No, why? I slowly took off my shoes and lay on the very edge of the couch, trying to occupy as little space as possible, trying to shrink and stop breathing. Slavia gently embraced me and rested her head on my chest. Yeah, that's better, she purred. I was unable to say anything and just lay there calmly. Very good. Thank you. For what? Slavia kept her eyes closed and seemed ready to fall asleep at any second. for being here. It's fine. 2 minutes ago, she was desperately trying to get rid of me. No, really. And you're welcome. She said nothing, but I was sure that Slavia smiled. Contact us anytime, as they say. You are so kind, you care so much. Well, I tried. You're a good friend. Friend? Well, yeah, probably. Somehow this word hit me painfully. On the other hand, there was no reason to believe that I was something more to Slavia than just a friend. What are these thoughts about, anyway? You too. I just couldn't bring myself to find the right words. What's up with the you too? It's been a pleasure dealing with you. We hope for further mutual beneficial cooperation. Or, yeah, it's cool being friends with you too. Let's go and play in the sandbox. This was twice as hard to enter with Slavia lying right next to me. I can't run, I can't hide, and even without her looking at me in the eyes, I know that she sees right through me. You're distressed by something, aren't you? Oh, I'm fine. But I can tell you that you are. Well, maybe. Want to talk about it? Well, not really. In fact, there's really nothing really to talk about. Then you don't really know why you're upset? Yeah, probably. Then why get upset in the first place? Slavia laughed. I guess I shouldn't. That's great. She hugged me even harder. Not cold now? I'm fine, just tell me if you're not comfortable. It's okay. Like that time, on the boat. My muscles, as if remembering that rowing competition, reminded me of it with a dull ache. It's totally different. Okay, she said slyly and raised her head a bit. So everything is fine? Yeah, perfect. I started to worry. Slavia surely wanted something from me. Wanted me to do or say something. But what? Are you sure? Yeah, probably. Well then, have a good night. You too. After a while, she fell asleep. I checked the clock out of the corner of my eye. It was only 1 AM, and that meant that I still had to lie in this position until morning. I wasn't really concerned about my arm going numb. Just being so close to Slavia, in such a dangerous proximity, I couldn't sleep at all. Various thoughts were invading my head. Did she really consider this whole situation normal? Uh-oh! Just when I was thinking how bad it would be if anybody found us, the door opened, the light switched on, and Olga Dmitrievna rushed in. Uh-oh! My heart jumped and stopped for a moment. Semyon? Started the camp leader in a diabolically calm voice. I've been searching for you everywhere, and you escaped from the forest ahead of time, didn't go to the cabin to sleep, and now you're seducing our best pioneer. Slavia instantly woke up. She was staring at the camp leader with her sleepy eyes for a few seconds, and then instantly understood what's going on and jumped from the bed. Okay, Michelle, it's not what I think. I just fell ill and Semyon woke me here. And then I got cold and I told him to go to his cabin. Oh yeah, sure. So you're sick, are you? I am, answered Slavia humbly. Then you have to get treatment. She watched me menacingly. And you, get up and follow me! I understood that arguing was not an option and left the infirmary, not even looking at Slavia. We reached the square without saying a word. Olga Dmitrievna viciously looked over at me and said, Time to go home, I need to have a serious talk with you. I felt awful the whole way. The camp leader silently followed me. I think that once again I've got into a stupid situation which will be perceived totally wrong by everybody. Nothing to discuss. What if I were in Olga Dmitrievna's place? Two teenagers cuddling in the empty infirmary at night. It's hard to come up with any apologies. The worst thing is that all these things always happen specifically to me. Always considered myself to have an analytical mind, however I rarely go to put it into practice. We entered the cabin and the camp leader continued the interrogation. Would you care to explain yourself? She seemed to have calmed down a bit. At least this side of her character was appealing. She was, of course, an impulsive woman, but she also cooled down quickly. Snap already told you everything. You expect me to believe that? I can't force you to believe it, but I'm not going to invent any excuses either because it's the truth. She looked at me for some time and then said, Tomorrow I will decide what to do with you. The camp leader turned off the light. I rolled myself in a blanket, not even bothering to undress, and turned to face the wall. Interesting, why does she only blame me for what happened? I wasn't there alone after all. Slavia is a role model pioneer, of course, but... No, I didn't intend to shift the blame to her. I just felt too ashamed for getting into an idiotic situation once again. Involuntarily, with no malicious thoughts, not expecting any trap. I could have laid there purifying myself for a long time, but fatigue overtook me and I blanked out. Day 6. And what now? I didn't sleep well. I kept waking up for a minute or two and then dropping off again. I didn't dream much, just grotesque images forgotten by morning. Olga Dmitrievna woke me up. Wake up already? I rubbed my eyes open and looked at her questioningly. What time is it? Late enough. My whole body ached and my head was heavy like a bowling ball. Pull yourself together and wash yourself up. Right now. I stood up obediently, took my toiletry bag and went outside. I didn't want to talk to the camp leader at that moment. A lecture was clearly coming. A hard one. But I'd better put it off as much as I can. After all, I always did things in this way. Trying not to fall asleep on my feet, I somehow made it to the wash basins. The cold water knocked some sense into me. Maybe I should pay Slavia a visit. I still have some time left. Just to tell her I'm sorry. On the other hand, why should I justify myself? It was her idea. And what did I do wrong? Besides, once again, getting myself into a situation where all the odds are against me. I took a deep breath and went back to Olga Dmitrievna's cabin, with the firm intention of proving myself innocent, or at least showing that I will stand my ground. But the room was empty. I sat in bed and dropped my face into my hands. I need to come up with an excuse. Now, a nice and believable excuse. If she won't believe the truth. Well, that's not surprising. If I was her, I wouldn't have believed it either. Nothing worthwhile was coming to me. I was just sitting there, gazing at the sunrise. The door swung silently open, and the camp leader came into the room. Olga Dmitrievna, I'd still like to explain you to you that. No need. I looked like her surprised. I understand everything. So you do understand it, wasn't that what it looked like? Why, it looked exactly like what it was. I don't want to condemn neither you or Slavia. I understand everything. Puberty, hormones, all that kind of stuff. I sighed thirdly and laid my head down on my hands. What do I need to say to make you believe me? Nothing. I said it already. I understand everything. You don't understand a thing. I muttered under my breath. Okay, head over to line up. I stood up and dragged myself lazily along with her. But could I at least pay her a visit? Of course not. The camp leader looked at me with such surprise, as if my question was something completely inappropriate. I've already warned the nurse not to let you in. Well, am I allowed to know how is she at least? Well, it looks like Slavia's actually sick. I didn't manage to ask how serious it was, as we reached the square already. Go and take your place. I took a place next to electronic. So, what happened yesterday? He whispered to me. What are you talking about? Well, you suddenly disappeared. Well, nothing special. Telling everything to the entire camp was the last thing I wanted. After all, if even the camp leader got us wrong, then what would the others think? For I've already started to think that it's not entirely wrong. The entire lineup consists of a roll call and announcement that the shower room is closed today for repair. Finally, the pioneers ran for breakfast, chatting happily. I miserably followed them. Frankly speaking, I wasn't in the mood for eating at all. After hanging around near the canteen doors for a while, I turned around and headed away. I don't know it turned out this way, but eventually the infirmary appeared from nowhere in front of me. Looks like my autopilot just kicked in. I stared at the door as a total loss. They won't let me in anyway. What can I do now? Should I wait for Olga Dmitrievna's sentence, if it ever comes? Well, if there is Viola, I think you would be available to enter. Should I wait until everybody in the camp knows? And that's even worse. Weak glances from aware, the alienation. That is what will happen for sure. No, I haven't done anything wrong, but in the enclosed circle of the bizarre society, such behavior would be treated, if not as a sin, then as a serious deviation for sure. And that means that I've already got nothing to lose. I knocked without any hesitation. Just a moment! I pulled the doorknob, but the door wouldn't open. It's locked. In a few moments I heard the key turning in the keyhole and the nurse appeared. Good morning, Pay Honor. Hi, I answered confidently. Well, you know that you are not allowed here. Well, I do. But if you'd... Nah, that's not the way things work, she said playfully. A camp leader's order is an order after all. If you ask me personally, I don't find anything immoral in your behavior, but Olga Dmitrievna, maybe I can do something. No, you can't. I looked at her angrily, turned around and walked away with theatrical slowness. I didn't know what to do next. I just pressed on forward, punching the trees that stood in my way. Alright, let's end the episode here, and see you in the next one. Bye!